So I don't know if any of you saw the quick upload that I did today about the results of the sentencing for Nicola. 26. Well, they got life. With 26 years they've got to do before they can sort of apply to be released. And 13 years for murder, for robbery, which will run concurrent. Did not at all see that coming. I really didn't. So I'll give you a quick timeline of the of what happened in court. So just before 10 o'clock, the sort of members of the public came and the press and whatnot. Then they brought Nicola and Zoe up from the dock. From downstairs, from the south, sorry, to the dock, and a victim impact statement was read out by the prosecution, but it was sort of wrote by an ex-partner of Stephen's, quite a lengthy one, but sort of points made how she misses him, how it was a vicious attack, and she'll never forgive them, and she'll never be able to unsee what she's seen in that video that was shown and filmed on Nicola's phone of the attack. I don't really understand this bit, because she goes on to say that since the attack she's scared of every noise and she's paranoid, and she can't sleep at night. Well, it didn't fucking happen in their house, so I don't understand that bit. But anyway, hey ho. We've got, let me just find it. So we've got Andrew O'Brien is representing the prosecution. And then we've got Jamie Hill, who represents Nicola, and then the John Ryder that represents Zoe Ryder. So, let me get my spectacles on. I just feel like a teenager at school doing my homework. So, Mr. Hill, says he accepted by prosecution that there is lack of intention to kill. He appreciates that Nicola is a mature woman, but this is him addressing the judge, heard that she had a terrible background, and he invites the judge to consider that the background may have left her more vulnerable to the ravages of alcohol and drug addiction, and therefore in turn it's left her more vulnerable for people like Zoe to sort of prey on her and influence her, basically. And basically he said, left to her own devices, Miss Lethbridge would not have committed these offences, and I truly believe that myself. Then Zoe's barrister spoke, and they said this, and they're addressing the court now and to the judge and say, during those formative years, she experienced the total opposite of care and decent guidance. She was unwanted, she was unloved, uncared for. At an extremely early age, she was required by her mother to steal, typically by shoplifting to fund her mother's addiction. Her mother not only incited her, but instructed her on how to carry out and was obliged to act in accordance with her mother's instructions. Both parents, for as long as they were together, savagely beat Zoe, and the father's older children joined in as well. She was introduced to cannabis by her mother at 12, and within that home environment it quickly moved on to Class A drugs. Brief respite was found with her grandparents, but her mother would not permit her to go there for very long periods of time in case she lost her money, benefit money basically. So basically her entire life was violence, and they're asking the judge to sort of take that into consideration. But fucking hell. So then they are going to, obviously the judge is going to sentence them, and he says that there's only one sentence, murder deserves life, but they've got to consider how many years they must serve until they was allowed to be, go for a release. And this is what the judge sort of said to him. The judge said, Nicola Lethbridge and Zoe Ryder. Stephen was age 60 at the time of his death. He lived alone in Woodseats and was assessed as having a mild learning difficulty and had numerous medical issues, including heart disease, epilepsy, diabetes, and had undergone heart surgery. During the course of the extensive police investigation, no information was undercut, fucking found, to say that he was a paedophile. And there'd been no witnesses say that children had gone to his house, and no interest in paedophilia activity at all. People describe him as having a heart of gold. A good friend, Mary, describes him as a special man. Yeah, special being a pretty fucking word. Who was nothing but kind and gentle to her children growing up, and they speak fondly of him now. No sentence I impose can ever compensate Stephen's family and friends of his loss. The manner of his death is very upsetting. The recording of part of the incident is very traumatic for them, and they've got to live with it for the rest of their life. Now, how do we know, really, that he hasn't done something with paedophilic tendencies? We don't know that. We have no idea of that, do we? We'll probably never know. It just means that he hasn't been caught for it. But we'll talk about that at the end. So then, the judge says this is clearly a murder for gain. The judge said, in the weeks before his death, Stephen changed. He was uncharacteristically short of money, he was unkept, and he was visibly troubled and scared. Having heard evidence, I have no doubt that you, Zoe, targeted him as someone who could be exploited, and had gone on to do so. And you, Nicola, you indulged in loud and intimidating behaviour, keeping Stephen awake and scared. On the 9th of August, you were in drink and probably drugs, and found you went into his flat together in order to threaten, attack, and rob him. No doubt to finance further drug taking. For whatever reason, you accused Stephen of being a paedophile. You invaded his home, intent on helping yourself to his property, by threatening and using violence, and set about him in the most brutal manner, and launched a vicious joint attack. You threatened to cut his bits off, and shouted fucking paedophilia fucking insults to him. You failed to listen to his denials, or to offer him any compassion when he was clearly injured. The purpose of your attack was to steal from him and to humiliate and terrify and hurt him. You left him clearly injured and bleeding, with 22 separate injuries on his face, including a broken nose and a bleed to the brain that proved fatal. While you may not have intended to kill Stephen, you certainly intended to cause him really seriously harm, distress and terrify him. You helped yourself to his property, including jewellery recovered. I have no doubt you intended to sell this jewellery for drugs, therefore it clearly shows that it was a murder for gain. So, and then they say, the judge says there is only one sentence for murder, and that is life. But she must set a minimum term for both to serve behind bars. Sorry, I've got really bad toothache, guys. Before the parole board, who will determine whether they are safe to be released. And as the sentences give out, you see Nicola obviously crying, and they're given life with a minimum term of 26 years and 13 years for robbery. So, like, fuck me, I didn't see that one. Christ. I mean, I don't know if they're going to appeal. I should imagine she would. I would. I mean, you've got fucking nothing to lose. It's going to be 70 by the time she comes out. 70 years old. You imagine that? You imagine that? They're not meant to hurt somebody. You know, fucking hell. You know, to be fair with you, in my opinion, I wouldn't even say, yeah, I'm going to say they didn't mean to cause him that much pain and injury. They would have, I don't know. They would have thought that the mouth, the loudness of it all would scare somebody, especially with special needs. Not condoning it at all. But we don't know what happens. We don't know what happened leading up to that. The courts don't know. The police don't know. Family who are saying that he's the fucking best thing since sliced bread don't know. You know, I was only saying to my friend earlier, you know, people only come aware that somebody's a paedophile once they're caught. You know, they don't carry a badge saying, you know, a little bit of paper on it, or stuck to the back with double-sided fucking gorilla glue tape, saying, you know, I fancy fucking kids, and I look at them at home, but I haven't been caught. You know, fucking hellfire. Wow. So I'm now gonna be uploading the about her life, so that'll be up tomorrow. So tell me what you think, guys, in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you like this, and yeah, tell me what you think.